This is how it is today. This is how it is today on Pop Culture Minefield. This is how it is. This is how it is. Today on Pop Culture Minefield. Today on Pop Culture Minefield.
I'll take the front nine, you take the back nine, and we'll meet back at the clubhouse.
There you go. Hey guys, it's Saturday. I guess we're going to watch a movie. Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good. We're going to be talking about a little film that actually Tom brought it up in the chat that it failed for the same reason that Big Trouble in Little China failed. They promoted a film that was different than what the movie was. And so people were like turned off by that. And Bruce, I think he was a little befuddled by it, but I don't think he was watching the promotional material because the promos were an action film where there's actually very little action in this film. But then it does something, it's so over the top when there is action, like with you see the fucking guy at the auction house, the guy that does the bidding, telling people to bid, auctioneer. You show the auctioneer waggling his mallet, and when it comes down, he blows up, and they have a fucking prosthetic version of him, that blows up. And I'm like, they wanted to get an R for some reason. They wanted an R.
That scene looked
and I think that was the mistake. This film needed to be a hard PG-13. They should have moved away from all that because really, when you watch it, it's not really that harsh a film.
Also because the action is very slapsticky, and I guess that pissed people off too. Because
put them off.
And
it's the same sort of thing with Big Trouble, because Big Trouble, people were put off by the comedy, and that the hero of the story is kind of an idiot.
I love that comedy.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the general audience had problems with it. That's why both movies tanked. This tanked, and it would cost them $15 million. They made $15.4 million on the film, and it's just not enough. I think the total profit on this was $800,000 in the theater.
Wow!
But as Bruce said in an interview later,
back
in 2008, he said that they made their money back on this. They turned a big profit, because of home video and video on demand in its early days. This movie made its money back.
And because of nerds like you who rent the video and they watch it multiple times before giving it back.
Yeah, I've seen this movie so many times because it's just one of those movies that cheers me up when I'm in a bad mood. Hey, War Monkey. Who else is here? Real Wade Nation, Tom Baker, Emmanuel, and like you can see, Tom was first here today. So good to see you guys. Hope you're having a good Saturday. Did your dad like it? And did you enjoy it? I'm curious, War Monkey. My dad liked this film too.
Well, that's it. We all like it a lot, which is even rarer.
I like it a lot.
So they have different tastes in movies, apparently.
Well, my dad liked Bruce Willis a lot. He watched the TV series he starred in, and he was a big fan of that one and Remington Steele. And so He had an affinity for certain actors that came from TV that went to film. Pierce Brosnan too. He liked Pierce. Oh, that's good. Okay, you guys. You all liked it. I like that. I like hearing that because this film is technically a cult classic. It has a huge cult following, and it's made its money back. And I'm glad that I've always loved this movie, and I watch it any chance I get. And I like movies like that.
I think
Yeah,
that
Bruce
might be
Willis is
of
one
the
of those
first
guys that
movies
everybody
you
likes.
showed me.
What's that?
I think that was one of the first movies that we watched together. That was
Oh,
early on
okay.
in our relationship. Because I'm at the point now,
Yeah.
2.5 years in, that some of the movies that we talk about, I actually rewatch. It's not a first watch when I watch it for the show.
It's funny because I was just over on Mephisto's channel talking about another film like this, which is Kiss Kiss
Oh.
Bang Bang.
Yeah.
Because it's absolutely in my top 10 list of favorite films ever written. And I love that film. And this film has an interesting genesis because he and one of his co-writers on this film actually started planning this 12 years before the movie got made. It was like 79 when they started coming up with the idea of the Hudson Hawk, and they started writing music for it. And because the Hudson Hawk has two things going for it, because it was both a person that they knew as well as a saying that when the winds come in off the Hudson River, that's the Hudson Hawk. And so they had this idea all the way back when they were, Bruce was a bartender at the time, back in 79. And he's hanging out and the pianist for the band, and they became best friends. And so they started working on this thing together. And he's like, one day I'm going to make this into a movie. And he's like, whatever. His buddy plays piano. And he's actually listed as the music supervisor for this film, but he also played piano on it and wrote 3 of the songs in the movie. Anybody else can talk right now. I don't want to steal the show. It's
Oh, no,
just
well,
Trying to
constant
open
trivia.
IMDb.
You're the one who's full of trivia knowledge. I just
Yeah, I was wondering where you're going with that when you said full of. I'm glad that into with trivia.
We all know what Matinee actually wanted to say, but he doesn't want to get fired yet.
Right.
Yeah.
You're fired.
I'm trying to remember.
I don't care about that. I am fearless.
I'm trying to remember if I saw this movie in theaters first or if it was on video later on. It
was released while I was in the Army.
Yeah.
And the first time I saw it was in the movie theater at a mall down right. It was close to Fort Sam Houston. And I don't even know if that mall exists anymore. I tried to find it and I couldn't find it. And there was a little Cineplex in there. And we went to see this movie. I remember seeing, as we went in, a promo poster outside the theater for Ghost. And just something that's stuck in my memory. But I do love this film. Robert Kraft is the pianist friend of Bruce Willis. And this is something, like I said, that took 12 years to come to fruition. And they did bring in another writer to work with him, Stephen E. D'Souza. Mm-hmm. And then they got a real director, Michael Lehmann, to work on the film with them. And again, because I like Lehmann, and I do believe he's a gay director, because he's one of the directors that worked on American Horror Story. And they tended to hire gay writers and directors for that series. Because the guys running it are gay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of not good to do that.
That is
to
like hiring gay
looking for
or,
specific gay, groups over other groups. What does that fall under? Prejudice?
It doesn't make sense.
But at the same time,
it doesn't need to be gay to write gay stuff.
Yeah, and this isn't gay. This is a straightforward film. But Michael Lehmann did direct this. He also did the movie Heathers.
Oh, I love Heathers.
Yeah, it's a great film. He did 40 Days and 40 Nights. And he worked on American Horror Story as well as working on Dexter. He's working currently on a terrible series that I hate, but he's only done one episode, which is Will Trent. It's like he's a lead investigator for the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, and he's illiterate, functionally illiterate.
How
And I'm
is
like,
that even-
that won't happen. It can't happen in a world because of all the paperwork required to do your fucking job as an
That is
investigator. You have to read reports and you have to write reports. Oh, we have somebody read to him, or he has somebody read it into a recorder, and this. It's like, yeah, he just fucking learned to read. That's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's as stupid as Spock being dyslexic. I'm like, a member of the command crew team? No, no, that wouldn't happen. No, sorry.
By the way, we have this from Tom. I don't know what you think of this. I can't really, not as Hudson Hawk.
It would have been a different film, different feel.
different
But
movie.
he would have done the comedy well. I mean,
Now
Oh,
I
yeah.
see him. I could see Bruce Campbell as the CIA guy.
there you go.
Yeah.
You're talking about the
James
one
Coburn,
played by
yeah.
James Coburn, yeah.
Yeah.
And I always felt this was kind of a play. The character he plays as Flint, because he was famous back in the '60s for playing in like Flint and all the Flint films. Hey, what's up, Sparking News Podcast? What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. But I think Bruce could have played that character better. I agree with Martin on that. It would have been a different film as far as the physical comedy with Bruce Campbell, because he comes from the Three Stooges kind of comedy.
Yeah, and after seeing him in the third one from, oh my God, my memory. His third
Third one, what?
installment as Ash, Army of Darkness.
Oh, Army of Darkness, yeah.
He can play assholes beautifully.
Hey, Zax is early. What's up, brother?
Hey, Zax.
I guess
You wanna
Martin's
join
got a
us?
video for you.
Do I?
Better. I'll fire you.
Yep. No, of course I have it. What? Oh, here it is.
Shut the fuck up, Kyle!
So it's good to see you guys. It's a great Saturday. I was over on Mephisto's channel before this. I got to do about 45 minutes with him, talking about another fucking movie I love, which is Kiss Kiss Bang Bang with Val Kilmer and Robert Downey Jr. I love that movie. I love that fucking movie. I love everything about it. I love the writing. I love the direction. I love the acting. I love the comedy. Even some of the action scenes, I was blown away at what they pulled off on such an independent budget. Because
I wish I
Silver
remember watching it.
produced that with a friend of his out of their pocket. That wasn't, a major movie studio production. It was independent, and it was released independently to the what do you call it? The con circuit, the film festival circuit in 2005, and then later it had a short theatrical release, and so I never heard of it. And when I saw it, it was a new release in 2007 on at Blockbuster. I was lucky. Zoe and I had a Blockbuster right down the street, and right across the street was a Family Video. So if one didn't have it, we'd go to the other one. Scotty, what about Scotty?
Oh, because Sporkin and Sax are having a conversation only available in the screen because they are in different chat.
They're in different chats. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they in one of those gay chats? Is that what's going
No,
on?
Sax is on our YouTube
No.
channel. And Sparky is on Steven's. Fuck you, Gary.
Swipe right, man.
Funny thing,
So,
Steven didn't say anything.
I am not affiliated with this man.
There you
Or
go.
Pop
There
Culture
you
Minefield.
go. Sparking gets it. Chief is in
Hey.
the chat.
Chief, Chief, how are you doing, man?
Brave. Only the brave, by the way, before you answer that, Chief. What I love about that is it is basically the Charlton, the Czech movie where he kills all the bad guys in it to avenge his wife and daughter. Bronson. The Charles Bronson.
Which Only the
Death
Brave?
Wish. Yeah,
What
Only the
year?
Brave is Death Wish.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
I'm watching it in the theater going, I'm like, oh my God, this is fucking Death Wish. It's
Dude,
but with a woman.
I
And
have
loved
at
it.
least 5 movies called that, and no, not two of them has the same theme. So there's one that
Well, Kevin
from-
Bacon was in a basically a remake of Death Wish 2 with his movie where he goes out to punish this gang that's gotten away with what they did to his family. And but I think he ends up dying at the end too in that one, unlike the book. But yeah, I love the movie Only the Brave. I thought it was a really good film, great cast.
is the one with
yeah.
Josh Brolin.
Yeah,
Chief?
yeah.
Okay, it's about the firefighters.
I watched that when it first came out, and it's really a fucking good movie.
I still need to see it.
It's not something that's on my regular playlist. So it's like I saw it, I really liked it. It was well acted, but I'm sitting there and I'm like going, I'm into military movies. You know, law enforcement and military films are my thing. But I do like watching stuff with fire rescue. And those are guys, oh my God, those guys are fucking gutsy that they do. A lot of those guys get killed yeah, it's a true story. See, but anyway, where was I? I forgot where the fuck I was at. Zach's always distracts me, it son of a bitch. I'm gonna do my Don Ecker now. You sons of bitches.
Oh, you can.
I
do
love
this
it when he
part.
says that. I'm watching him the other night. I told him I was gonna watch what it's called, UAP Crossfire. I watched. I've got to know the guys on the show, including the minister who's on the show. He's actually an ordained minister, and I just really enjoyed it. And I always say, fun part is I always say fucked up shit. You know.
You know.
Yeah, I know. It's what I do. If I'm not on the show saying funny shit, I'm in the chat saying fucked up shit.
See ya, Chief.
All right, Chief.
Have a
I'll see
nice
you
day.
later, my friend. And if you guys aren't watching him on Tuesdays, you're missing a great show. Tuesday
Indeed.
mornings, man. He does some really good analysis, deep analysis, and brings in a lot of law enforcement officers from around the country to join him and talk about these films. Now, one of the things, first off the bat, right here, the opening short story about Leonardo da Vinci and the drunk sounding old narrator just
Sounds like Stumpy.
irritates people. No, he's more like, he's got a deeper voice, but he slurs a little bit when he talks, so he sounds drunk. I don't think he was drunk. I think he's just old. And so he was one of those guys that did a lot of narration for old movies back in the 60s and shit. And this was an idea, again, brought in by Bruce Willis to have that guy do the narration for the film. And there's just so many things going on in this film that this is a parody of itself. The movie is a parody of itself. It's taking shots at the movie itself is taking shots at itself through the characters. And there's so much good shit in this stuff. And I actually really laughed my ass off at some of the comedy in this. I enjoyed this intro with Leonardo da Vinci because it sets up what's going to be happening in the film, which is they're looking for something that he made. And they're showing that he was into alchemy. And there's been rumors about that shit. But this was a Dick Brown story before Dick Brown wrote his fucking book, the Da Vinci Code. Because really what this movie's about is shit that Da Vinci did to hide things that he could do. And you had to figure out where he hid them. So we open with, but that's not Da Vinci. That's just some guy riding by on a jackass.
I like how
The
they
guy
say
with the donkey used to stick out the donkey.
Yeah. The man with the donkey, that's just a man with a donkey. Pay no attention to him. It's like the narration. Again, just like the it's an unreliable narrator. Or divide and conquer. I like that.
Oh, it's because Sax is saying that we are racist because we have segregated chances.
Segregation. Yeah, you notice that Martin is at the far end. You know, he's not allowed to be up here close to me. Yes, Dante Spinotti, the guy from Manhunter. That's right. Very good director of photography. They had some real talent in this
LA
movie.
Confidential as
And
well.
this was a big boost. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, yeah. And so, you know, but this is something that came from the mind of Bruce Willis and his partner, you know, I just forgot his name, Robert Kraft. And Robert Kraft, a pianist, and he wrote a lot of the music that's in the film. I read by nature. What's up, buddy? You know what? I bet you that Dan Brown saw this movie. And it inspired him. I have to do this better. So he creates this puzzle made out of this metal, that shiny metal that can that does a reflection on this device that causes a reaction within lead to turn it to gold. It changes one element in it. And they're all speaking old Italian in this. It's great.
Yep.
So, and the goofy part of this is they also show him launch his glider right afterward. It's like he does this massive thing with making gold and then shows him launch the glider. And I'm like, that's a bit too much foreshadowing for me. But yeah, David Caruso is in this. And it is the first time David Caruso did that with his glasses because he's mimicking Bruce Willis. So this is where he learned that technique. Learned it from Bruce Willis, imitating Bruce Willis. And of course, in 97, you have the first episode of South Park, which makes fun of David Caruso. When he tells his little brother, do like David Caruso did with his career, jump. I don't know if anybody saw that. I fucking found that shit funny.
No.
Yeah.
Take a dive like David Caruso did with his career. South Park.
For the love of God, I jump.
What's the matter with you? How can you ignore the screams of a small
Crying child.
A crying child says to the aliens. I love that fucking line. For me, comedy comes from very good writing. And but this has like three different kinds of comedy. There's slapstick comedy, there's the wit comedy, and then there's the visual gag stuff. Where like when he's at the end of the film, when he's on the glider, Bruce and I just forgot her name, are escaping. Andie MacDowell are escaping, and she like accidentally covers his eyes, and he's like tries to get her hands off him, and he's gliding, and then he sees where they're going, and then he grabs her hands and puts them back over his eyes. He doesn't want to see their death.
But then he discovers that flying that thing is actually funny.
I watched the first two episodes of that TV series, and I liked the first two episodes. I don't know how the series went, but I enjoyed the first two shows. The Percy Jackson series.
Yeah. Not a story. That kind of story is not my bag, baby.
It's not my bag, baby. Yeah. Oh, but what about this book entitled Sex? What is it? Sex Toys. It's my bag, baby.
Yes, by Austin
Because of the
Powers.
penis by Austin Powers. With the forward by Austin Powers. I love Austin Powers. That fucking cracked me up, the writing on that one too. Movies that tell you right up front, don't take us seriously. I like that. This movie does that too. But because it gives you a little wink and a nudge. But this film was marketed incorrectly as an action film. And people went to see it, and it wasn't, and that killed them the next week. They did good the first week, the second week, that was it. No, that was a dying film. And I thought that gag was pulled off poorly. I felt that there should have been more clear of the car backfire, because when at first I'm like, what was it? His car backfired. You shouldn't be doing that. When a joke is done, you should know the setup of the car coming up behind him, and then it pops, and then you hear a pop, and then he dives for the ground, and then they show the car, and I'm like, not a good setup for a joke.
The joke is still funny.
To Catch a Thief, it's different though, in the fact that in that one he is being hunted because they think he's the criminal, and he's got to prove he's not. But I do thematically, it has a lot of the similar themes to it, and I agree with that. And it's a favorite of mine. I do love that movie a lot.
Mine too.
Top Secret, Abbott and Costello stuff. Absolutely Abbott and Costello. Absolutely. It's less tongue-in-cheek than Top Secret, but it is still in that same vein of poking fun at itself in other movies. Oh, Percy from Blackadder. I forgot about that, dude. I have not seen that since, I think the last time I watched it was in the 90s. I tried to keep up with the show that was going and then never rewatched. But I loved it when I watched it. I was a big follower of anything Rowan Atkinson did. LA Story flopped too, and I think it's a great film. I really do.
What is that one?
Oh, Richard E. Grant is absolutely majestic in
He's
this.
insane. Him and Sandra Bernhard
Yes.
are so fucking funny in this. And my favorite gag in this, and they went there, is Bunny Ball.
Oh, yes, I have that clip.
I fucking love that gag. And because the dog's evil in this story. You aren't supposed to go, oh, PETA. No, fuck you, PETA. The dog is evil. It's
All
no
of
longer
them.
doing the shit that it's doing because it enjoys doing it. It's a bad dog.
He gets his deserved end.
Yeah, when he bites his balls, I mean, oh my God. Which reminds me, by the way, just off topic, I'm going to pause it here for a second. I'm on Facebook yesterday doing some posting and messaging some of my friends and family. And a couple of friends had birthdays yesterday. And all of a sudden I look down because you get that little feed of videos. And the first one shows a guy looking down at a snapping turtle. Like it's right on his fucking stomach, standing up on his stomach, stretching its neck. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck's going on here? And it shows this guy, and this is his like pet snapping turtle. It's very friendly. It's very affectionate. He's saying, likes to hug up, and he keeps pushing it down into his lap. And I'm like,
bad idea.
Because he's getting nervous when he got close to his face. He's okay, you got to go back down here. I'm like, you just put in his crotch, in your fucking crotch. And every guy that watched this video was like, it's like that's a fucking snapping turtle. It's not a fucking water turtle. That is a snapper. And I've been bit by those cocksuckers, and I would not want one grabbing my privates. No, sir. So I watched that yesterday. I thought it was funny.
That's reserved for cats.
But anyway, now that is Sylvester fucking Stallone's brother. Mm-hmm. Frank Stallone, who, by the way, if you've never heard him, go to YouTube and look up Frank Stallone singing. Oh my fucking God, what a voice this guy has.
He's the one who
Frank Sinatra.
So he's the one who sings "Take It Back,"
Yeah,
Mhm.
take it back. Do, 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 do,
which
take it
is the
back.
real theme for Rocky.
It is song written for the movie.
Mm.
And Frank's got a great voice. He's a good jazz singer. I was shocked at how good his voice was when I heard him sing some classic songs like I Left My Heart in San Francisco and shit like that. Oh my fucking God, this guy can sing. And he also boxed, by the way. I don't know how good he was, but he did a challenge on the old Howard Stern show when he was on TV. And I used to watch it every once in a while. And I heard he's going to be on there. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm going to go watch that because he's going to box. He's in good shape, just like his brother. And he used to spar with Stallone, Sly. He was one of the guys that helped him, with his boxing.
So we have the first.
All right,
So-
Wade, I'm very pleased with you. You're really putting an effort forward. I like that. Thank you. Rather than just walking in and saying, Gary, back door. Yeah.
Here we go, Wade.
Let's go out the back way.
Keep those IDs coming.
No, use the one I gave you. It doesn't have the music.
Oh,
So we can avoid being claimed. I put
Whoa.
it in there. I told
No,
you I
it
put
has
it in
the
there.
music. It's still
The one I put in there does not.
Yes. Let me allow me.
Let's go out the back way.
Keep those IDs coming.
It's mine?
Yeah, you maybe you uploaded an
That's
out of
fucking
the
weird. What's the name of it? Because I think it was Hudson Hawk Backdoor, right?
what? Feeding a
Let's go out the back way.
Keep those IDs coming.
Let's go out the back way.
Keep those IDs coming.
I'm getting flashbacks to that vid of the guy feeding an eel in the sea. Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
don't do that.
People do some stupid motherfucking shit because they think, oh, it's not going to hurt me. All they know is they smell the food in the water and they don't know if your hand's part of that.
They don't know and do not care.
Yeah, everything's based on smell, and you don't fuck around. That's why I like that one dude that works with bears and shit. And he goes, "You guys are always asking me if I ever get in a cage and play with the brown bears the way I play with the black bears." The answer is no. I didn't raise those bears. I don't trust them. It's like, here you go. I hand train these black bears, and I know our relationships. And those brown bears, they're not predictable. So no, I'm not going to get in the cage. Now, through the cage, they'll come up to it and I'll rub their nose and shit and give them snacks. But I ain't fucking getting in there with them. No, that's a brown bear. This is great. I love this conversation. Hey, Lord Thoth, all hell, Lord Thoth.
Going back to the Frank Stallone scene there real quick, I like that double reference that there's Caesar and Antony and that they're the Mario brothers.
Right. Right?
Yeah, I love that.
There's so many gags in this that a lot of people just
I don't
even get.
I don't get that. Care to explain?
Rum,
Okay, so you have Caesar and Anthony, right?
Mhm.
Julius Caesar
Mark
and Mark
Anthony.
Anthony.
Yeah,
Oh,
And then they're the Mario brothers.
Mario brothers.
Yeah.
These are great gags. I'm going to go back a little bit here because so much happens in the scene because he's telling them to fuck off. I don't want to work for you. And when he turns around, that guy in the background there is his parole officer who wants him to do work for these guys.
Mhm.
And I love when he calls the guy stupid. It's just so fucking funny. And then Danny Aiello comes out with a champagne bottle. It's a good year. Would you like a sample? Don't want you fucking want. And then he fucking hits it and breaks the bottle over his head. There he's holding the bottle. This is a great fucking scene. And Bruce is like, I don't want any part of this, but he's basically told, you know, you don't have a choice.
He's done with being a criminal. He wants to try.
He
and
wants to
have
go
a normal
straight,
life.
and all he wants is a fucking cup of coffee too.
Cappuccino.
A cappuccino,
please.
not
He
any
just-
coffee.
From the moment he gets out, that's what he wants. He tells him, I just want to, you know, cappuccino, man. They have a cappuccino machine, and then fucking guy shoots it out of his hand. He never gets his cup of coffee. When he starts to drink one in the middle of the film, when they're in Rome,
it's
it's
spiked.
not coffee. It's fucking spiked with. He goes, wait a minute, that's not coffee. That tastes kind of like. And she says what it is, and he goes, oh, and he falls unconscious. And they put him in. I fucking love this movie so much. It's just, it keeps moving quickly. It really does. Once the movie starts after the intro, it's just constant. There's something happening all the fucking time. And this came from the mind of Bruce Willis and his buddy.
Some of the music too.
Yeah. Well, the Hudson Hawk song and everything. That Hudson Hawk's theme. And as I said earlier, there is a real Hudson Hawk that they knew. And on top of that, when the wind comes off the Hudson, it's called the Hudson Hawk. Yeah, this is the first time you see the thumb cuffs. Hey, Parrot Head, what's up, motherfucker? Yeah, he finally gets it at the end, holds it up, and becomes part of the final artwork on the book. That is oxygen acetylene torch back there. Something I worked with a lot as young
My dad had one of those.
Because I worked in a bronze foundry, and when you cast the pieces to put them together, you have a choice. You can either use that, or if it's a big piece, you have to use the arc welder. I was not certified for that, but I was certified to work with oxygen acetylene. I wanted to learn the arc welding because I love the smell of ozone that comes off of that. I was just like, God damn. So now they got to do the crime. Got to get this for them, the bad guys. Absolutely. But it's, you know, what's sad is Bruce is the guy that would have to do it. And at this point, just never going to happen. He had wanted to do another film. He thought it would be a hit and he might be able to do 2 or 3 films, like a trilogy. But this movie, it fell so fucking hard. $15 million budget, and it was like 15.8 is what it was. 15.8 million is what it made. And meaning it only had a 800,000 what do you call it? Profit. But it's not profit, because the 15 million is only for the making of the film. It doesn't tell you what was spent on the marketing. And the marketing fucked this movie so bad, because again, it said it was an action film, Bruce Willis, and people went to see that, and it was not. And so word of mouth.
Like Die Hard.
They were expecting Die Hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not. It's a comedy.
It's a straight up comedy.
Well,
There's action in it, but the action is there more slapstick than anything, even when it's grotesque. Because like when the auctioneer gets blown up, that's gross, man. You see chunks of him flying.
How about the guy getting the rocket stuck to his head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not forget too that I was about to say it and now I forgot when he said that. I fucking lost my train of thought. God damn you, Stephen.
For a change,
Of course.
it's not me.
Yeah.
Oh, Anima does it all the time. Everybody does it. I'll lose my train of thought because, well, yeah, you're right. Oh, what the fuck was I going to say? Oh my God, there was something that I wanted to tell you. There's background trivia for this. This stuff was stuff they worked out early. And it was because the two of them, because Danny Aiello is kind of the guy that co-wrote the story with him. He's kind of that character. And I love that. And so they came up with this idea that it takes us so long to do these crimes. So because they're music lovers, they think of songs that are exactly that long. And so while they're separated, while singing the song at the same time, they'll know when to do something. And then I said, of course, that's just stupid, because you just synchronize your fucking watches. and you know exactly where the other
Yeah,
person
but it's
is every
fun.
second. But that's what makes this great, is it made it fun.
It's too easy.
And I loved it. It made it a musical, too. This is
Yeah.
also a musical. There are 2 musical numbers in this fucking movie. No, I can't help it now, dag nibbit. Swinging on a Star. I love that song. Bing Crosby. Because my dad didn't want me hearing contemporary music when he was raising me. I was really raised on old music, and I fucking love that old stuff. And then I heard contemporary music, and I'm like, I love that stuff, Dad, but I'm going to go over here for a while.
That's
Made him
something we
mad.
have in common, Gary. Only with me, it was even worse. I was raised on classical music, not just.
Oh, and also they
Yeah.
fuck up here. This is a big fuck up on their part because they weren't paying attention to what was happening. This guy broke a chair, and when those guys were walking around doing their rounds, and so the guy doesn't take it back far enough and putting the loop in there. So, oh, it absolutely is. The music and the singing, it's makes you smile. That's what I like about this film, is I always smile. If I'm not laughing, I'm smiling, because this movie just cheers me up. And I don't know how you can have a Sony to listen to what he's doing here while singing, because he has to listen to the safe too.
Okay, usually it's you telling me that. Check your brain at the door. It's a movie.
Yeah, well, I do. I absolutely just love this movie, but there's so many logic issues with this film that's part of the problem that people had with it. And I'm like, you gotta this is a popcorn film. This is a movie made for loving this kind of movies. And I love this. They're just singing full voice now, not worried about getting caught.
Yeah, that's.
And this is when they spot it. And by the way, do you recognize that security guard there? The young, good-looking one on the left.
Yeah.
Should look it up.
Yeah. Where have I seen
Joan?
him? Help me.
Good looking one on the left. That's me.
Help me there. Where have I seen him?
Well, you just look up the movie on IMDb and maybe get some information on him. I don't know.
Yeah, I tried to open IMDb on my phone and it fucked everything up. So I'm not going to open that page while I'm on StreamYard. with my
That's
computer.
sad. That's a sad, sad story.
I have my phone on airplane mode, so my laptop gets all the.
Well, not that IMDb is very useful these days, changing the order of the actors,
Oh, I hate that.
not based on the role, but in how popular are they at the moment. That is bullshit.
But I do believe that is the film's director, Michael Lehmann.
Reed says Raimi.
What?
Raimi?
Raimi.
Which movie are we talking about here?
No. The security guard that was on the left here. Technically, he's on the right in the original film, but it's left here because it's reversed. And I do believe that's Michael Lehmann appearing in his own movie. This scene's great because, this corrupt cop is about to get his just desserts for forcing Bruce Willis. Also, the drop where he falls, and when they jump off the roof, he falls into the seat. And it's one of those continuity moments in the film that I enjoyed. He goes from falling onto the awning out in front of the building to falling into the seat in the scene.
That's one of the slapstick moments. You
And
that doesn't happen, but it's fun.
Jeeves is fucking evil. Him and that fucking unfolding blade he has. hidden.
Oh God, yes.
When am I going to get my cut? Oh, you're going to get your cut right now. Fucking slices his throat. Blood goes everywhere. Hits Bruce Willis in the face. And it's like, ew.
I like shit like that.
And they were in on it. They knew it was going to happen.
They were
That's why
waiting
these
for
guys-
it.
Yeah, these guys get their just desserts. Every character gets just desserts in this. And by the way, it has a great Ford Fairlane, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane moments in it, which I like that film too. I saw it while I was in the Army as well.
Here's the
You know
cappuccino
what scene I'm
machine.
talking about, Martin?
What?
You remember what scene I'm talking about that it has in common?
No, I haven't seen Fort Fireland, and I need to see that one.
It's the line is what? You thought we killed the fucking koala?
Huh? Oh yeah, then I get the moment. Yes.
Yeah. Can you fucking believe it? Yeah, I can fucking believe it.
I love the cappuccino machine that he just used. It's so steampunk.
It is.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't think it's real. I think it's a prop they made.
Oh,
And it
it's
almost
fun.
explodes when he
Yeah.
touches it.
Yeah, you just hear it and you're like, "Ugh, I'd be backing away from that thing. He does a new tuxedo costume. He shows up in a dapper little tuxedo here with no tie.
You don't wear a tie with a tuxedo.
And of course, back then, when back in the 80s, all the way back, I wore round sunglasses to match my round glasses that I wore. By the way, one of my first round pair of glasses was 200 years old. I bought it from an antique shop. I love the frames, and I had the lenses removed and had my prescription put in. 200-year-old glasses. That's why that scene in Star Trek, Wrath of Khan, when he gets those glasses, I fucking love that. The other thing that's bad is he did another flop too close to this. It really hurt his career. He did Bonfire of the Vanities, which is a terrible movie. Great cast, terrible movie. And there he is, David Caruso. He plays the character Kit Kat. They're all named after candy bars. And Lisa's one of my favorite jokes. And he goes, you're all named after candy bars? She goes, yeah, they get pretty creative over there at the agency. She goes, you should have seen it when they were into communicable diseases. I was chlamydia.
For a year.
For
Yeah.
a year. Like, Jesus Christ, that's awful.
That reminded me of the story where the old lady heard you talk with your cousin.
Oh, yeah, because that's true. Back in the 80s,
Yeah.
when I was in my clinicals for nursing school, and she heard us say the word chlamydia. And she came over later while we were having chow. She walked over to us. She goes, I really love that name you said earlier. And we're like, name? She goes, yeah, I'm thinking about telling my daughter about it
No,
because
she
she's having a
did tell
baby.
her daughter.
And said, I'm going to suggest, or I did suggest that, it's my story. And I'm not totally sure which one she said, but she was either going to tell her or had told her. And she says, I was going to suggest that name to my daughter, chlamydia, for my granddaughter. And we were like, no, you don't want to do that. No. And then we told her what it was, and she goes, oh my. And she just kind of like left quickly.
When you told me that story, you said she was completely shocked and then said, I better go call my daughter because she had already suggested that.
Yeah, because, when I tell the stories, I'm telling you what I remember from it. And sometimes I'm not too sure, but I know how to fill in the holes with the memories.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, that's
And
the version you
sometimes
told me.
I've told that where she did tell her, and sometimes I've told it where she was about to tell her. But the way she left, really does suggest that maybe she had already told her, because she rushed out of that cafeteria.
Maybe because she was embarrassed.
I mean, I said some things during that period, and I remember I got pissed off at our director of nursing at the hospital, not my director of nursing from the school, but this bitch fucking hated men in nursing. She felt it was insulting having men in nursing, so she was really crappy to me and Ronnie Back, he was a 60-year-old man, 60 years old, going back to school after he retired. And I love that guy. I was also close friends with his grandson, who's still a friend of mine, Darren Bach. But anyway, she was just really shitty to us. And she was a big rotund lady, and I was a strapping, good looking guy. And I sat there one day and I made a fat joke at her expense. And what I said was, well, you got to remember that in every fat person, there's a skinny person trying to get out. In some people's cases, maybe 2 or 3.
Oh,
And then I turned and looked at her, and she turned beet red. And she reported me to my director of nursing. And she goes, "Did you really say that?" And I went, "Yeah." And she goes, "Oh my God, Gary." Her favorite student. She's not going to fucking do anything to me. This is one of my favorite moments in the film where he's being dragged behind this thing and those girls go, "Are you about to die?" 1-800, "I'm going to fucking die." I love that line too. Exact change. He's reaching in his pocket and he's going to throw it in. I love this scene so much. It's so stupid. Anybody who took this movie seriously just missed the whole point of it. And I love that these guys die chasing him, trying to kill him. And he goes by and he says their names. "You guys okay?" And they're all dead. You know they're dead. Right here in this scene right here. And he's still rolling by on the
Yeah.
Caesar,
Anthony,
you guys
blam.
okay? And then these guys knew he was going to be there, waiting for him.
Yeah.
And of course, that's the big one, Butterfinger.
of course, I love the absurdity of this movie. Everything is an impossibility after another.
Absolutely. There's nothing believable in this film. Can you fucking believe it? Almond Joy. Yeah, there it is, the chlamydia joke. For a fucking year. And then fucking Butterfinger comes out of the fucking toilet. He gets stuck in the door.
I'm Butterfinger.
And he has
no shit.
no shit.
Oh, I have that clip.
Oh no, he does. He does Boo Boo, the voice of Boo Boo from Yogi and Yogi Bear when he delivers that line. It's so fucking funny. But the scene where he's in the apartment and they get karate darted, and they're just being so crazy, with their bodies stuck. "Come down here, I'll bite your fucking face off," shit like that. And Butterfinger, that's actually an outtake that's in the movie when he spews the fucking soda out of his nose. And he goes, "Stop it. You made me spew my drink out of my nose." And he keeps laughing. He actually was laughing because it was so fucking funny. And he spewed soda out of his nose. And they thought it was so good that they kept it in the film.
Of course, here's the North by Northwest reference by calling him George Kaplan.
Yep.
Three minutes, 4 seconds.
And I told Anna that a lot of people don't know this about James Coburn. He was a student of Bruce Lee's. He studied Jeet Do.
Oh, yeah.
And he's a practitioner of martial arts for real. And he used a lot of it in his movies. In fact, he uses some in this one. He throws a couple of the kicks in this film. The problem with Coburn was he got a form of rheumatoid arthritis in his hands, and it made his hands do that. And it started in the 70s, and it progressed on into the 80s to where he started diminishing his roles because people didn't want to hire him because of that. This movie was a huge break for him, and it helped, even though the movie did badly, it helped launch his career. And he's in one of my favorite dramas, dark dramas with Nick Nolte as his son in the film, and Coburn plays his dad. It's called Affliction. It's like, oh my God, that is a movie that I will watch every 10 years, no more than that, because it's a tough film to get through because of the subject matter. It's very serious, but it's really good. I love this, like, I'm in Rome. And this is a great car. That is a Chrysler Impala. The nickname it's given is the Chrysler Imperial. It is a stretch limo made out of an Impala, 1955. It's a beautiful fucking car. And the guy that owns this car has took frosting for the glass and put the name of the film Hudson Hawk on the windows and the for the passenger area.
Nice.
And you can look it up. Go look it up. The Hudson Hawk stretch limousine. And I love this car. The Impala is a great car, especially the 55. This is such a weird building because what it reminds me on the exterior here is the drawings by Escher. You guys know who Escher is? He's the one that did the impossible stairways that are going up and then down at the same time in angles and shit. That's Escher. And there she is. She's singing, "I've got the power."
Out of tune, out of
tune and out
rhythm.
of sync.
Yeah.
Out of sync. She's singing at the wrong times. It's funny as hell. Sandra Bernhard, I swear to God, I did find her fucking funny when she would do shit like this and do some of her comedy. But she was too outlandish as a person, and it destroyed her career. She fucked with a couple of people, and it hurt her career. Madonna and somebody who considered her a best friend was Roseanne Barr. And they didn't talk anymore. She had her even on the show, the Roseanne show.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was fired because some shit she did behind the scenes. I don't know what it was. And Richard E. Grant is so fucking brilliant in this movie.
World domination.
His delivery in this is just so fucking good. And when they get close to each other and they do the tongue thing, I'm just like, oh my God, this is so fucking crazy. And I heard Anima when they did the scene, when they did the licking in the air with each other here, she goes, ew. That made me laugh even harder because Anima reacted to it. Ew. She makes those Anima noises. Tommy Five Tone. She bites his, nibbling on his fucking ear, pulls it kind of violently. I just love, they're fucking gross and they're evil. And they absolutely, every villain in this film deserves to die. The only one that doesn't deserve to die is Danny Aiello.
I think this may have helped getting the R rating.
She's not just evil, she's fugly.
Yeah, she's fugly. And they shot the exteriors here at the real Vatican, but I don't think the interiors were shot at the Vatican. Because the Vatican is very strict about photography inside from studios, etc.
They did their
These
research
two,
I've
the
been
twins,
there, it
cracked
looks
me up.
very real.
But it does look like the actual interior of the Vatican where the museum section is. So they either spent the money to build an exact replica of it, or they got permission to shoot in there, which I just found really hard to believe.
He's
I
not
love
lying
this
to the
scene.
guy. Absolutely true.
And he goes, mannequin. And he's like, yeah, you don't fucking know what I'm saying. He's trying to tell him I got some two really bad guys following me. Can you help me? Mannequin. Speaking of no English. I put 2 pics of Coburn in the pop culture group. I'm assuming that means on Twitter. Some good. It does impact my RAM. I've discovered I've got a RAM problem.
It did.
Exactly.
So I've got to see.
Well, I can see the pictures, and there is nothing on PC.
Yeah, I know. I told you it was going to do it.
Hey, Castelar Daniel Garcia again. Good to see you.
It's totally the RAM, random access memory. Right now, I did not like Blind Date, but I do love Lucky Number 11. And welcome, Castelar Daniel Garcia.
I like Blind Date, but not that
A lot of
much.
people do. I didn't get into it. I couldn't stand Kim Basinger's face back then.
Oh,
I didn't think she was very good looking.
but yeah, Lucky Number 11.
What's amazing though, as she got older,
That happens.
Well, I just love that movie. Very well written. Oh, Coburn and Payback is great. That's just mean. You're just mean when he shoots the luggage. That luggage costs more than. What does he say? That luggage costs. I can't remember how he said
No,
it.
because what? How much money was asking him for? 25 grand.
They keep.
Or
Yeah, he
seven-
wants $800,000 or whatever he was owed. And they're like over $1 million. He goes, no, it's only 800,000. Like, and he goes, I have
My
suits more
suits
expensive. Cost more than that. Fucking Coburn is great in that fucking movie. And I do prefer the original theatrical over the director's
Yeah, me
cut.
too.
I don't think that it's good. I don't think it's good. I don't like it. It doesn't feel good watching it. It's too dark. And there she is, one of the most beautiful women on the planet. She was one of the main Maybelline spokesperson for, I think, 9 years. And she still is. She's still a spokesperson for Maybelline because she's still, even at her age, she's still beautiful. And I love her Georgia accent. That's why she got redubbed in Tarzan or Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, was because you could hear her Georgian accent. And they're like, we can't, her English accent is terrible. So they went and they got Glenn Close to dub it.
Which I still find weird.
It is weird. And I think the reason they got her is because of the movie Dangerous Liaisons. And she would later do an English voice accent again. What was that movie? We just watched it.
Oh. No idea.
This is where he does the Yogi.
What movie did we watch?
The boo-boo accent. You know, the boo-boo voice. Okay, Yogi. And this also right before the scene with David Caruso, where he's imitating him behind him, doing pointing a hand and shit just like him, and then he back fists him because he knows he's behind him. Kit Kat ends up not being a bad guy, but he ends up getting killed by the bad guys.
And when he
gets
hits
killed
him, it's almost like, yeah, I deserve that.
Yeah, here it is. I'll kick your big flabby ass. Hawk. The villains in this are just so fucking delicious. They're so good.
The first barehanded strangulation.
He's an evil motherfucker. God, I miss communism. Well, it's back, man. Too bad James Coburn didn't make it. I always wish they had done a sequel, but it just didn't make the money. Because I know they had more stories than just this one that they're going to do with this character. Snickers make this happen.
Is Snickers the one who always dresses like someone else?
No, it's Kit Kat.
That's
Kit Kat. Yeah, that's right.
And you feel bad for him because as he's dying, having been shot by the husband and wife, he holds up a card that says, I always liked you. To here it is. This is when he hits him with the back fist. I deserve that. But he holds up a card to what's her name? The nun. It says, I always
Andie
liked you.
MacDowell.
And then he dies. Andie MacDowell. And then he dies. It made me sad because he
I
was
guess
not a villain.
I think her name in the movie is Anna. I'm not sure.
I love the whole underground because this really does exist. There is an underground underneath the
Yes,
Vatican.
it's Anna.
Anna Baraghi, yeah.
Yeah, they have a massive library underneath the Vatican and vaults, and it's incredible the shit that goes on down there.
You have no idea what goes on under Rome. The catacombs, I've been there. I had to go in there, unfortunately. I hated it. I'm too claustrophobic for that.
Yeah,
The whole city has a city underneath.
Yep.
Mostly graves and also chapels. There are underground churches because they had to.
Yeah,
do
because
that shit
that's
down
how
there for a while.
the Christians worshipped, was in hiding.
They had to for a while, yeah. What a
Oh my
fascinating-
God! And he
I
takes
wish
the
it could-
elephant from that bratty little shithead kid.
Oh God, that kid is annoying as fuck.
Because he wants to test their security. But he's got a thermos full of fucking spaghetti, dude.
That was so gross. That grosses me out every time I see it.
I fucking love that. That was
It's funny.
just like a fucking Italian.
course.
No, Italians wouldn't do that because
Hey, we're
They do in
being
this
we're
movie.
being raided. We have a map.
Meth is done.
I read it. No, Italians like their spaghetti al dente. And there's no way when you put them into a thermos hot, they are still al dente. No fucking way.
And of course, you guys know where the name Nick Charles comes from.
No.
The Thin Man, or
Yep.
Raymond Chandler. Nick and Nora Charles, and little Asta, the dog. And the funny part is, the first book, The Thin Man, isn't him. It's the dead guy, the dead body. He was described as a thin man. So
Yep.
that every film got called The Thin Man was a misnomer. It was weird because it was actually the dead guy in the original story. I love the name Nick Charles, man. I'm a big fan of those books and movies. I actually showed some of the first movie to Anima, and she was really getting a kick out of it because he's a drunk. He's a lush. So, and his wife is like, kind of just loves him, despite the fact he's a drunk. She's the rich one. She has all the money. And he's a private detective who doesn't want to be a detective, but he ends up being a detective. It's great stuff. I love this Pope gag too. The Pope smacking the TV because he lost the picture with his staff. And this scene, by the way, somebody brought it up earlier. I forget who it was. Said something about It Takes a Thief. This scene always reminds me of It Takes a Thief with Cary Grant, the rooftop scene.
This Conclave prequel is weird.
Yeah, right. I watched that movie. I got to the third act, and finally, when it's revealed what's going on, I fucking stopped the movie. I went, "This is fucking stupid." That is what I sat through all that for. Fuck you for making that movie. Mephisto.
And we had Connie.
Hey, Connie.
Hi, Connie.
Connie.
Heard
Connie
woman
Cleary.
of YouTube.
Don't you worry about it. We still got a lot of
I
time
know.
left. We've still got about what do we got left on the movie? About 40% of it left. So you'll be able to enjoy it. You can always backtrack and do us at almost double speed to get caught up. That's what Penny does. And I do that all the time with shows. If it's live, I go all the way back to the beginning and play it twice speed, like when I'm watching Nerdrotic or Geeks and Gamers and shit like that when they got a live stream. I love this guy that plays Butterfingers. He fucking cracks me up, man.
Oh,
Just a
he,
big
So
dumbass.
dumb.
he was Zangief in Street Fighter. Yeah, that
Yeah,
Street
yeah, he's
Fighter.
in Street Fighter.
And he's
He had the
also
worst
played
ketchup.
Leatherface.
He's also what?
He's also played Leatherface.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. In the remake. That's him as
The one in the
Leatherface. in the remake.
2000s?
The Jessica
In the
Biel
2000s?
one. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Oh,
Yeah, I remember Mac brought the prequel home. He's like, "You want to watch with me?" I went, "No." He goes, "Why?" It's pretty good. I liked it. I watched it at work because he worked at Blockbuster, and I wanted to bring it home. And I'm like, because we know what's going to happen at the end, because none of the characters in the family are going to fucking die.
No.
And they're going to kill everybody because otherwise it would have been found out earlier. So no, it's like I want to do the movie called The Butler Did It, but then I really like that movie and I want to do a prequel to it, Why the Butler Did It. And I'm like, that's fucking stupid. That's why most prequels are bad. There's no sense of danger to certain characters.
Exactly. Been saying that for years.
Yeah, me too. I've been saying it, since I learned to write, as a writer, and again, I thank Josh Becker for that because I was already a kind of good writer, but he taught me some techniques that just, and again, fundamentally, you have to understand irony to be a good writer. Without irony, you are a crap writer. Which is why I kind of poke fun at Spielberg and Ridley Scott too, because I don't think either of them grasp irony correctly.
Oh, Spielberg wouldn't recognize irony if he jumped at him naked in the shower.
And Ridley wouldn't understand it if he was like manhandled by it in the shower and defiled. And then it would end and he would not understand that was a representation of what he did to E.T. when he changed it. He wouldn't get it because he doesn't understand irony. You see where I went with that? Nobody expected that. I was being ironic. I brought it back around to make you understand.
Oh man,
I've always said the best. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Martin.
That's it when Butterfinger says when the first Sneaker said that they're taking too long, and Butterfinger said, "Should I go out and grape them?" Both.
I remember that. It's like, no, don't do that.
Yeah,
what?
Read your book.
Why would you
read your book?
What? This is when he gets his coffee, he thinks. But no, it's got that fucking chemical in it that knocks him out.
Ethyl chloride.
Ethyl chloride. Yeah.
Oh, Bob.
She's so innocent when she says, "Oh, I might have put too much of that in there," and he passes out.
Hello,
hey,
Joe.
what's up, Joe?
Hey, Joe.
And there, of
wonder
course,
when
is
he's
the
going
castle
to
from the
join us
beginning
again.
of the film. So I'm gonna tell you this joke that I've always said is a great representation of irony, which is it's an Irish joke, and of course, Irish jokes are always full of irony. And it's a story about a young man is at his father's wake, and he's listening to his mother talking to family and friends as they come in, and as she's talking to them through the next 20-30 minutes, he gets angrier and angrier at her. And finally, he grabs her, pulls her aside. He goes, "Mother, why do you keep telling people that father died of gonorrhea when you know damn well he died of diarrhea?" And the mother turns to him and says, "Because I want them to know that I wanted them to think that he died the man he wasn't than the little shit he was."
Oh,
It's perfect use of irony.
I
And
like that.
love that joke. I love that joke because of that reason. Because nobody sees that coming. You know damn well he died of diarrhea. I want them to think of the man he wasn't than the little shit he was.
I like that. That's good.
Basically, that you're all part of the same carpool. That is fucking funny. The quips that are made in this fucking movie are just so great. And there she is dressed like her.
Yeah, in
That-
the end, before he dies, he's dressed as a statue. What was with that? I never understood.
Yeah, he's dressed as Cupid with an arrow.
That's right, he has an arrow. He's
Because they told her to hold her there and and kill her if need be. And there's like, go ahead and kill her, and he won't do it. And so they shoot him. He didn't want to kill her.
Yep. And no, he likes her. So.
And as he's dying, he communicates with his card, and he pulls out a card already printed. "I always liked you," and then he dies.
I
It's
think
like,
I think
who
he's
prints his
not
cards?
he's not evil, but he needs a place, and they are the only ones taking him because they're using him. But that's his place in life because nobody else wants him because he's weird and he doesn't talk.
Definitely a porn directed by Ruin Johnson. He would fuck that one up too.
Okay.
It's like everybody kept using that to me. What's it called? They were saying
Breaking Bad.
No, the way he wrote his Star Wars movie.
Subversion.
A subversion of expectation. And I said, there's a name for that. There's an actual name for that. What you're saying, you keep saying that those two words, but there's actually a word that represents that. It's called irony. And there's no irony in that. That is the proper way to do that, is using irony. Because it needs to be connected and then really shock the viewer that something else happened than what you're being led to believe would happen. Not suspension, but the whole thing with the expectations thing pissed me off. I said, that is an excuse used by a fucking bad writer that doesn't understand irony. Sandra Bernhardt's so fucking ugly.
I love how casually they drop that she's a nun when she goes to the priest to tell him she fucked up. And you, at the beginning, you're like, okay, she's in a costume now. She's not really a nun. And then turns out she is a nun. I found that.
She's actually a real nun. And they end up killing these two, shooting them in the head. I'm like, God damn, these are evil people. They don't give a shit about life at all. Even look at James Coburn's character, who once strangled a man with his naked hands and enjoyed it. He's like, what the fuck? Because they don't care. Yeah, even the nipples are braille. Like, nobody has a happy look except for these two crazy people in the butler. Thieves, as they call them in the movie.
Completely crazy.
Bunny, ball.
That makes the ending great.
And they're so gross. Their characters are so gross, so they're constantly getting overly physical. PDA.
In a very gross way.
Yeah, very gross.
Very
And they
nice.
go over the top. I mean, they sold these characters. Absolutely. Richard Grant and Sandra Bernhard did an amazing job playing these characters.
Why the fuck he did Last Jedi, I'll never know.
That is the Escher
No,
building.
Rise of Skywalker, sorry.
Oh, fucking Ruin?
No.
No. Richard
the third
Grant.
one.
Richard Grant was in
Richard Grant, yeah. He was in the Rise of Skywalker
I
for
don't
some
remember
reason.
I don't think I even saw the full movie. I saw parts of it, and I just wasn't interested in it because they fucked it all up. I'm like going, I will tolerate that first movie, but what you do next is going to tell me whether this first movie is good or bad. And what they did next ruined the first film. It's one of those times where I said a sequel ruined the first film. Because there were things set up in that first film that if they didn't do certain things, which they were planning to do, but when JJ left to go do more Star Trek or whatever the fuck he was doing, they brought Rian Johnson in to undo everything. Because Kennedy is a fucking asshole. And an idiot. Now, their idea really freaks me out. Their goal is to flood the market with more gold, which devaluates it.
Exactly. They want to create economic
Chaos. All they want is chaos. And I'm like, my God, these people are really fucking evil.
But they're
They
Bond
think by
villains.
creating chaos, they can take over the world. It's insanity.
Sure. Yeah. Great dialogue in this scene too. And then they reveal his best friend betrayed him. Danny Aiello's character, because he's sitting behind him.
Oh, I love that. When he's like, I'll kill you, your family, and the bitch you took to prom. And he's like, oh, Betty, I think I get you an address on that one.
I'll kill you all. I'll kill you and the bitch you took the I fucking love the dialogue in this. I fucking love it.
It's great.
I'll kill
And
you.
I often wonder
You're gonna
because he's
fuck
very
her and
quick-witted.
dog.
Yeah, they're George Soros, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's Danny Aiello, man. Best
Everything
friend.
about her is insane. Even her clothing and her makeup and her hair. Everything is so over the top crazy. In a very gross way.
And I love that they cut away to them before he says, that means I have to die. And they go into this, it was cut from the scene and go to them out there having lunch. And then they crash through the fucking window and go over the giant M out front for their name.
Yeah, and survive that fall.
Yeah.
Well, they apparently planned out for this to happen because it's all fake. They're faking his
It's a
death.
fake
They're
fight.
faking the whole fight.
Even though he does fucking nail him in the gut.
Oh, yeah.
Because he
does.
complains about it later. You hit really hard. You had it coming.
But they must have rehearsed for a situation like that required for them to fake fight and fake one or the other's death.
Now, if you watch his hand, James Coburn is always careful how he uses his hand. He's just like Morgan Freeman is now with his dead hand. He
Yes,
lays
dead
his
hand.
hand a certain way to hide the arthritis.
Wait, what about Freeman?
Freeman, he's got a dead hand. His hand's dead.
No, I didn't
Yeah,
know
it's
that.
paralyzed. Yeah, from an
Why?
automobile accident he had down in, I think it was Georgia. Flipped the car
Where did that
and left
happen?
his fucking, from the elbow down, I think it's just dead. 2008, I think.
Damn.
How come I had no idea? Wow.
Let me go back more. I'll go look it up real quick. Morgan Freeman.
I've seen so many movies
Accident.
with him. I never knew that.
Yeah, he hides his hand in those films. He'll move it and act like he did in the Batman films.
Like Scotty hiding the hand that's missing a finger.
Yeah, it was.
Jimmy Doohan.
Yeah, it was 2008 when he had the accident. So I was pretty close. Because I said 2007, 2008.
That long ago.
Because when he's in the first film, his hand wasn't paralyzed, but when he did the sequel, it was paralyzed, and he hides it. He wears glove on his hand. It's designed to keep the blood flowing evenly through the fingers. He has to wear that glove.
Poor guy.
Same reason I have to wear these socks, because I have that. It's not paralysis, but what I have is neuropathy, where I have little to no feeling in my feet, and it leads to me being off balance sometimes. Again, there you go. The Codex gets brought up. Again, something that Dick Brown, I'm telling you, he watched this fucking movie. I could do this better. I love this. What is this place with all the crap strewn around in their backyard? He goes, they're called ruins.
Well, they are totally playing the cliche that Americans are uneducated, because he's ordering ketchup for seafood pasta at the restaurant. He's all about the ketchup too.
And he complains that they didn't have good ketchup in prison. She goes, how long were you in?
And the
And
fake
he doesn't
blood
say
is
he
ketchup
doesn't
too.
say the exact amount of years, but he says, well, let's just say I never saw E.T. Which you go, okay, so you're in there for about 10 years. Okay. He found a clever way of saying it.
Oh, and he thinks he's going to spend the night with her because he still doesn't know she's a nun. And
That's
it's
the
not
next
because-
morning when he finds out.
Yeah, because he just thinks she's being weird because it's been a while since she was intimate with a man, but she probably never was. I mean,
She never has been. And I love it when he says, and you're done? And she goes, yes. And he goes, so you have no feelings for me? She goes, well, I love you. And he goes, well, that's part of your profession. That's part of your job.
I bet you love Butterfinger, and she's like, yeah, in a weird Christian
Weird
way.
kind of way.
I do.
Yes, I do. It's like, oh, I fucking love this movie. This
I
is
love
where
how
he and
she's
Aiello
naive
have an
and
argument.
brilliant at the same time.
well, I also love the funny arguments between Aiello and him. They're great.
Oh, they're great. The banter, like an old married couple.
They're two old friends. And I'm telling you, Aiello's character, because I read up after the interviews with them, well, where they're just talking, that character is based on him. The co-writer, his buddy, Robert Kraft, who again wrote some of the music in the film, like the Hudson Hawk song and some of the solid themes. Kari.
This is the arrow, the poisoned arrow that paralyzes them. This is so funny.
Yeah, the darts. They're darts. They're not arrows. They're
Darts, yeah.
darts from a blowgun.
Goofy as fuck. But so
And
funny.
my favorite moment, because it doesn't work this way, but I still don't care, where she puts a dart in, is going to dart him again, and he leans over and he grabs the other end with his mouth and blows into it, and it blows into the back of her throat. I'm like, well, that's not where the sharp end is, but fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah.
This is what I get for darting.
I
a
love that he
nun?
says the Louvre correctly the first time when he's talking to Kit Kat and the guys. And then now throughout the film, he says the Louvre, which is the typical American way of saying it, because we were taught in school to call it the Louvre. But I learned because I was in Paris. Oh, that's how it's said.
Yeah. It's also
I don't do the
and not
accent.
can.
I don't do the rolling thing that you do. You say it.
Yeah, okay,
like
fine. But
I just say it as American, Louvre. And that's where I had the incident. That is where I had the incident in the bathroom in Paris. Was right outside of it.
at least the way you're saying it is recognizable. I hate it when people talk about the film festival and they say can. It's can.
Oh, when she comes back with the groceries and shit. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, she went out to surprise them with breakfast. And then she gets shot
Yeah.
too. And she goes so crazy.
Got stuff to make coffee with too.
Yeah.
She's so gorgeous. I swear to God.
Yeah.
I don't understand why she wasn't a bigger star. I really don't. And she's funny in this. Like when she starts
is,
doing the
but-
dolphin voice.
I've seen her in a couple of movies, and she seems to have this one character that she plays.
Well, that's a lot of
She's
that.
not very versatile. Yeah, but for some reason that never.
Oh,
took up with her.
he starts crying. Because it's not funny. I'm not laughing. I'm crying.
I love how his hand was up when the arrow hit him, so now the hand doesn't go down. It stays like that. It's so goofy.
This is the whole thing about love. Well, yeah. With the Butterfinger.
Oh, Mephisto is onto something here. That might be.
Yeah,
That's true. She refused to do nude scenes. Not because she was a feminist. I do believe it was for religious reasons. Same reason why a lot of actors do that. Because the blonde, blue-eyed guy that was in like all the Taylor Sheridan shows. He was in Star Trek.
Neil McDonough.
Neil McDonough refused to do nude scenes or even make out with a woman.
Even kisses.
Yeah, that's what I just said. And he wouldn't make out. He refused to kiss a woman in a film. He says, I have one woman in my life, and that's the only woman I will get naked with and lay with or kiss. And it's
Mephisto,
a strict
we
rule.
need to fix your co-host.
They blacklist him because he's devoutly Christian, devoutly Catholic.
How my feelings needs to be fixed. This is not an awful movie.
Ow, my feelings. Because Mephisto calls him O. And I'm like, that's ow, my feelings. Like his feelings
That's how
got
I
hurt.
read it. Yeah.
He's being ironic. I like that. But well, you know, look, ow, my feelings is a bit of a mental clod, so I'm not going to worry about it. There, I shit on you. That means I like you.
It does. That's how it
I only
works.
shit on people I like.
That's how we started out, Gary and I. I was
Yes, I shit on her
joke.
like the first
He
time I
was
met her.
shitting on me, and I was shitting right back, and that actually
Remember
shut
what I
off
said
for a
to
couple
you?
minutes.
First thing I ever said to her, I shit on her
Are you
nationality. I said, "Are you German?" She goes, "No, I'm Austrian." And I went, "Oh, the Bavaria of Germany." Oh, no, you're from Vienna. I said, "No, it's the Bavaria of Austria."
No,
And
Vienna is.
you just looked at me like, "What the fuck did you just say to me?"
Well, I shit back at you, and that actually shut you up because Martine texted me after the show that I was going to get invited again because everybody loved how I actually made you shut up by shitting back.
Yeah. I've got one stocked away for you, Al, for when I get to do a show with you again that I'm going to throw out. I'm not going to do it now. I'll do it when we do a show. It'll fucking sting, and you better fucking laugh at it.
Oh yeah, you got the full package, Mephisto.
Yes, my religion.
With
Or
Mephisto,
none thereof. It's
Gary shit in the
is.
fan.
You are culturally Jewish. Interview with McDonough. I respect him. Hell yeah, Reed. Hell yeah. I fucking love that guy. And I'm going to tell you, I became a fan of his immediately when I saw him in Angels in the Outfield. I thought he was the best thing in that fucking movie. And if you've never seen the Disney remake, which is actually a really good film, go see it. Great cast. Really good. And in fact, the lady that plays the foster mother in that is my godfather's ex-girlfriend from Ireland. I remember when he told me that, I'm like, really? No shit. Holy crap. And then I asked him, did you get laid?
No.
He just shot me a look. I went, oh, sorry, too personal. People think I'd hold back a joke like that with my godfather, but no. He always liked my humor. I think one of my favorite things I did to him was when he started nodding off during mass while a guest cleric, I don't know, I think he was a deacon, was doing a sermon, and he started, like, his head started dropping. I watched his head drop and drop till eventually I saw his eyes were closing and sleeping, and I had the big tall crucifix, and I just slowly started tilting it towards him, and people could see me doing it, so it wasn't secret. And I bopped him on the head and brought it back up. And some of the people in the church chuckled. Thought that was funny. I'm an asshole. I can't help it. I knew about that, but I never saw it, Reed. Then he was also in Star Trek First Contact. And he was a tragic character in that. And by the way, he played that character gay. A lot of people didn't know that. Go read some interviews with him about it. His character was supposed to be gay.
Was he? Oh, okay. It's not like they brought it up. He's basically a red shirt.
Yeah, in his mind,
he was
came up
going to
with his
die.
backstory. He came up with the character's backstory, and he believed that he was a quiet, known. Everybody knew it, but he didn't want people to treat him differently. And I thought that was neat. I was like, that's a good background. And that's the way people should be. That you know something about me, don't make a fucking big deal out of it like they do today. Identity politics, fucking stupid. This is who I am. No, it's not. You are who you are. That other thing, it's really not you. That's just the thing that you do. You have a proclivity for something. That's like when my daughter said, I do these tattoos and piercings to express myself. That's not how you express yourself. You express yourself through your art or through your speaking. That's how you express yourself, not by putting shit on your body. And I've no room to speak because I got a tattoo, but I do say I was drunk as fuck when I got that tattoo and I didn't want one, which is why the guy who put the tattoo on me ran from me the next morning. And I'm serious, he did fucking run from me. So, do we need to talk? And he looked at me, yeah. And then as I got closer, he started realizing, oh shit, he doesn't want to talk. And he started walking away from me real quick and then took off running when I sped up.
You wanted to talk, just not with words, but with your fist.
I wanted to use my fist to show him how I felt. I wasn't going to hit him in the head. I was going to hit him and give him some body shots for what he did. Because I told him, don't give me a tattoo. I don't want a tattoo. And he did. He did it prison style with a cassette, and guitar string and India ink. That's how they did it.
It looks pretty neat, given that it was done that way.
Yeah, you see it in person. You see my tat.
I've seen it up close. That was the shoulder.
You can actually feel it too. When you close your eyes, you can actually feel where the tattoo is because he went too far in the dermis and it turned it into a scar. And when it got cold for years, man, if it got cold, I'd get these bumps and it would hurt so bad. What is going on? Oh, that's a James Bond pistol if I ever saw one. Oh, I like that. That didn't hurt.
See, folks, you got your actions to stall in the third act.
Yeah, it's all the action scenes, and they're comical.
Oh man,
This
that scene when he throw that kick, something falls off the building.
Yeah. I love the one where they're hanging there and they're just talking, waiting for the guards to come over so they can pull them over. That
Yeah.
fucker made me laugh because they're always bickering with each other.
So I have a question for
Oh,
you
this
guys.
scene is it broke my heart, this scene, because everybody gets out but Danny Aiello's character and it goes over that fucking cliff and explodes.
Makes you think
And-
he dies, yeah.
Oh, I'm
But-
like, oh man. I mean, I knew he was dead. I'm like, no fucking way he survived that. And that's why it's so funny when he says, "Can you fucking believe it?"
Yeah. So of all the deaths of the evil people, which death is the best one, in your opinion?
My preferred one is Snickers getting the bomb in his forehead.
Oh, that's a pretty
Nah.
good one.
When he drops the bomb gun and drops it and it hits back first and it fires into his fucking forehead. He goes, I can't see the numbers. He's trying to figure out how to stop. Can he stop this thing? Let me turn it off.
My favorite is Bunny.
The dog. That is great.
Oh,
It is one of my favorite moments in the film.
That is one of
when-
my favorite moments.
When he's
too.
got the tennis shooting gun, he says, "Bunny," and the dog goes, "Ball." Fucking shoots it and it jumps and grabs it and goes flying out the fucking window.
Stephen, what's yours?
Well, the dog's a good one. The butler is another good one. Oh, that fucking butler.
Yeah, he gets his head cut off by his own blades.
Yeah.
I'd go with these two. They are tied in spot number one. Amazing death. And then his comment, he's not going to the hat convention this year.
Yeah, I guess you're not going to the hat convention this year after all.
What a fun movie.
Oh, this is one of my favorite scenes. This one, I have the clip, and they all have music, so that's why I haven't run any of the clips.
Yeah, if you do clips, you need to remove the music. Or will get ganked.
Yeah, what I usually do is wait for that scene and then pause it and then do the clip and then go back to the slideshow. But I do. I love what happens here because he fucks him over. He's good at sleight of hand and he took part of the fucking codex. And so when they try to use it, it explodes on them. And they get covered with molten gold or lead, whatever the fuck.
Lead.
He asks Anna, do you think that part that I kept out is going to fuck it up? And she's like, oh, yes.
Yeah, here's his big speech on being evil. Go team, go.
Taking over the world, yeah.
If Da Vinci were alive today, he would be naked in the back of a Cadillac with us.
Oh, God, yes. Yeah, so batshit crazy.
And that's a Star of David at the center
Mm-hmm.
when it's silhouetted. I didn't notice that before.
I did. They like steampunk. Whoever did the stuff for the movie.
Oh, absolutely. Even the coffee maker, yeah. Clearly,
That coffee maker is great. I can't see how a thing like that would function, having worked on many different coffee machines in my life. But
yeah, it was a prop. It did not work. I know that for a fact.
also the fact that the character's name is Alfred, which is pretty close to another crazy dude with an A.
What is it? Wait a minute. What'd you say?
The evil dude is named Alfred. German name starts with an A. Crazy dude.
Oh, yeah.
That's close to another one. It can't be a coincidence.
We'll call him Adolf Hippler. Adolf Hippler.
I mean, both are crazy ideas.
And that was a popular name in Germany, and it just sort of, after World War II, Not too many
That's,
kids.
that's
Not
exactly
that name
what
anymore.
happens with Karen now. Nobody wants to name their baby daughter.
Nobody wants to
Karen.
name their daughters Karen because of that shit. That's right. Yeah, this fight scene between them is pretty cool. The blades. She ends up shooting fucking Bruce
She
Willis
shoots
in the arm. He says, Stop
You
trying to save me.
Stop helping me.
You're hurting
That's
me."
what he says. Stop helping me.
She drops the gun. That's great.
Well, she isn't happy to pick up the gun in the first place, but he needs help and she's trying. But always
Here we go.
him.
Here we go. The dog attacks her, grabbing
Mhm.
her by the neck and shit, trying to bite her. And there he goes.
Oh, come on.
Bunny,
Let me
come on.
run that one. Let me run that one.
Yeah, pause it, and do it. Go right ahead. I
Oh,
love that clip. I
Bunny!
fucking love it.
Bubble!
The dog goes spinning.
Flipping through there is so fucking awesome. I'm like, they fucking killed the dog. That's great. That's
And
some
the dog
balls right there.
deserved it.
It's like,
Absolutely.
I'm sure everybody that's from PETA hated that fucking movie. That's great miniature work here, by the way. Because they had a real castle and then they did a great
Here it is. Here it is.
miniature.
She's,
Yeah.
she's covering
He's like,
his eyes.
He's like, get your hands off. And then he sees where they're going. He goes, puts her hands right back over his eyes. I don't want to see me cry. I don't want to see it when we die. And of course, they end up in this little villa where they have a little courtyard. And he finally gets his cup of coffee. And then Danny Aiello shows up. He goes, I thought you died. And he goes, airbags, or whatever the fuck he says.
Yeah, first
Can
it's
you
airbag. It's like,
Can you
but the fire.
fucking believe it? The way he says it. Can you fucking believe it?
He should
No.
be dead.
I cannot fucking believe it.
You know, Bruce goes, yeah, you know what? I can't believe it. It's
Well, he does. I don't.
so insane. It's that whole Val Kilmer ending, dying at the end of the movie I did with Mephisto today, and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, because you just think he's dead, but at the end he's alive. And then of course, thanks to the narrator, like every other character that died in the movie comes walking through, and at the end of the line is fucking Abraham Lincoln still alive. It's like, whatever. Unreliable narrator. I love that shit.
Can I buy you a cappuccino? Yes. He's like,
Yeah.
fuck yeah, finally.
Yeah, he's got it, almost 2 hours. He deserves that fucking coffee. And then he shows up,
No way. Yes. Wait. I mean, he should have exploded in that ball of fire.
Well, the
Supposed to
car
blow
had
up and set fire to
sprinklers.
catch the flesh right there. Yeah, it had sprinklers. Can you believe that? You fucking believe that?
Yeah, I like how Da Vinci's castle is on fire in the background, and nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Right? It's like it didn't happen. This movie's whack.
I mean, and all his work burning in the background and no one cares. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's zero logic in this film. But that's what it is. It's an illogical, silly slapstick comedy with excessive violence and bad language.
Yeah. And a nun who fucks around.
And a nun who falls in love. You gotta love that. How many young Catholic boys had that fantasy? Not me. I hated the nuns I knew.
Well, the funniest part probably is when she tells the priest that she was messing around with a man, and he just gives her prayers to do to make up for that. He's not going like, "Oh my
do
God,
5
you're
Hail
not-"
Marys
Yeah,
in the novena and end with Our Father, and
and
you're
then
forgiven.
you're good.
Dude, I studied in a Catholic school with nuns, and we all like the nuns to a certain degree, because there was one of them that they said, "Dude, why is she so bitter?" And but I graduated, and years after, I asked somebody, a friend that was after me, and he told me, "Dude, sister, whose name I cannot remember at this point, she abandoned the habits. Apparently, when she was a teenager, she has had a big love in her life that it conduced to nothing. She went into she became a nun, and then decades after, the guy came back,
Oh,
and she renounced the habits and got married.
huh.
So that kind of thing happens.
I know. I mean, a lot of women decide to become nuns because they're disappointed by their love interest. I was in a Catholic school for 8 years. My high school was Catholic private school. We did have nuns, but they were old and not teaching anymore. The youngest of them, which I believe was in her 80s back then, she used to supervise us because I went to boarding school too for a period of time. And she was one of the supervisors that after lunch, we had 2 hours where we were supposed to do homework and shit. And when you're done, you're just supposed to stay at your desk and read or whatever until the 2 hour period is over. And if you couldn't finish your homework within those 2 hours, that was up to you. But these 2 hours, we had to be in that classroom-like room in the boarding school part of the school. And she used to do that. And she was funny though. She was nice. She also took care of the small graveyard that they had for the nuns. And I only ever met one of the other because they had a corridor to themselves with their rooms. I only met one of the really old ones, and she was senile. She didn't know where she was or what she was doing. So she wandered off one day, and a couple of girls and me, we found her. We had to bring her back, and it was awkward as fuck because we didn't know how to treat her. And we were 50, 60, and there was this 90-plus-year-old woman who didn't know where the fuck she was on the planet. That was a crazy situation. But the supervising sister, she was great because she was fluent in Latin, and that was a lot of help with the homework.
Yeah, now there is a line in the film that was actually something Bruce did to poke fun at Sly Stallone because he was friends with him, and he and Schwarzenegger had business together, and so they knew each other. But there was this great joke in there when he's in the bar scene. He says to Frank Stallone, "Directions even your brother can understand."
Yes.
Actually, it seems like he's talking about his brother there, but it's a shot at Sly Stallone, a joke. So I thought that was funny. And there's also another one in here that gets you because he brings up reindeer goat cheese pizza in the movie, which is also used in The Last Boy Scout. He says it in that film too. And I think it's an ad lib or something. I'm not sure. And you brought up earlier that he plays a character named George Kaplan, which of course is, a nod to North by Northwest, of a character being taken on an adventure that he has no idea what's going on.
That's a movie that I couldn't watch. North by Northwest.
You get through it, and
yeah.
Well,
I think I made it 30 minutes in, and then I was begging him to let me drop this movie because I couldn't do it.
But we're gonna, it's like because we're gonna do the film at some point because I'm a big Alfred Hitchcock fan, and I want to do his thrillers. I love his thrillers. I love his Psycho films too. Psycho and Frenzy are really good films. But I'm not gonna make you watch those because it might freak you out some. But I love his romantic thrillers, and that's one of my favorites. Goodness, I loved anything he did with Jimmy Stewart or with Cary Grant.
It's not like I'm unwilling to go and try again. I was just really
the least favorite film is, and I can't even remember the title exactly. It's the one with Henry Fonda where it's based on the true story of a guy who was wrongfully accused. And he ends up on the run trying to find the person who actually committed the crime, like The Fugitive. But this was a true story. And Hitchcock made the film. And it's a good film, but I just didn't like it. It's just not my cup of tea. But this is Hudson Hawk is just a stupid, silly film. The tones that the handcuffs make are also the same
Mm.
tones our man Flint used in Our Man Flint with James Coburn. Remember the that's
Not to
that's
mention,
from
that's the ringtone of Austin Powers' car phone.
which is borrowed from Our Man Flint. Which I love that series. I loved them all. And it was used in all of the Flint movies. Anytime they had to use the code, that's the tone.
Nice.
Now I'm going to read this one. When it came time to cast the film, everyone was in complete agreement about the actor that they wanted to play Tommy Five Tone, and that was Danny Aiello. And Bruce Willis had known each other, the both of them, for many years, dating all the way back. The way they phrase that, dating,
Yeah.
dating all the way back to they dated before either had attained worldwide recognition. Because he was in a lot of New York films. In fact, Danny Aiello's first movie was Fort Apache, the Bronx, about cops in the Bronx.
Yeah, he was a crook
And
cop.
he's the one that throws the guy off the roof, murders him.
Yep.
The actor was so enthusiastic about taking on the role as Hawk's best friend and partner that he postponed the start of another film in order to join Willis and company in this globe-trotting adventure. And there's no mention of what film it is, but I'm assuming it's. Let me go look. It would have been between 1991 and 92, right? Or 90 and 91. So let's go look. See, what did he make around that time? We got to do the Wayback Machine on IMDb. I miss him. It was a sad day when we lost him.
What did he die of?
Heart attack.
Oh,
Number one killer.
There it is. It's 29th Street. Not a very big film. It's a New York Christmas story, comedy, and heist. I got stopped on the street one night by Mormon nuns.
what did they want from you, Reed?
I don't think there's Mormon nuns. Just more women that were Mormons going around spreading the word. I remember I used to have comebacks to him. I told one street preacher, he says, I'd like to talk to you about Jesus. And I turned to him, I said, and he knows you're doing it, and he asks you to stop. He doesn't like that shit. And then I walked away from him. He was like, what? Yeah, I know Jesus, man. He doesn't like that shit. Talking behind his back. Then I stripped naked for Mormons that came by. I saw him walking around my apartment, and I quickly threw off my clothes because I knew they were going to fucking come into my fucking patio area. And there were two apartments. We were like catty corner from each other in this one patio. So they come walking in, I hear at the door, you know, and I threw up the door with my dick hanging out. I said, hey, guys. And they were going to say something. I said, are you here to talk to me about Jesus? That is so awesome. Come on in. No? Okay. Well, you have a God-blessed day.
Witnesses too.
Yeah. Well, I fucked with Jehovah's Witnesses all the time, like I did in college when I was in fake college. I had the guy believing I was doing a live sacrifice in our dorm room.
Oh,
Martin
yeah, I
and me.
remember that one.
Because when he opened the door to him, I said, hey, man, you're just in time for the sacrifice. Like,
I bet that freaked you out.
it was funny. I did crazy shit. That's all I got to say. And I knew some crazy people that did crazy shit. It's fun. So there you go. Hudson Hawk on my list of favorite zany, silly comedies. Because that's all it is. This is a silly comedy. Nothing makes sense in this movie. If you're trying to make sense of it, you have come to the wrong fucking movie.
Yeah, you're missing the
Absolutely.
point.
You're missing the point of the comedy.
Exactly.
So, but it hurt Bruce Willis. This movie and Bonfire of the Vanities, they were like back to back and just fucking hurt him. And thank God, a little film called Pulp Fiction came along. It saved Travolta.
Yes.
It saved Willis, and it made Morgan Freeman an actual movie star.
Morgan Freeman or Samuel L. Jackson?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
No.
Oh, they look alike. I'm sorry. That was
Oh my God.
because that is something that Sam Jackson got pissed about when somebody thought he was Morgan Freeman. This motherfucker thinks I'm Morgan Freeman. You know who have you ever seen a fucking movie of mine? He was just going off on this guy. It's funny as shit.
I saw that.
Bet you just have nothing but questions for Morgan Freeman there in front of you. It's like, that's a fucking funny moment. Real moment. God made Morgan Freeman a movie star. That's right. Then he took his hand away. Which is sad. And when you find out that, some of the other things about Morgan that came out, his infidelity and stuff, he cleaned up his act, man. That accident changed his life.
Sad.
He found his way back to his faith because of that accident. It taught him something. Or
There's
at least
no
he says
excuse
that.
for infidelity.
No. Unless she's really fucking ugly.
Oh my God.
Dude. If I was in the same room as Gary, I would slap the shit out of him right now. And he knows it.
Not even deleted is saying anything.
I hope somebody in our audience was fucking laughing hard at that joke because that was funny. She's fucking ugly. Then I understand it. Oh my God. I'm not a real sexist. I just play one. Pop Culture Minefield.
So you're a sexist and a hypocrite.
Hypocrite. Oh, I love that.
What's wrong with that? That's
It's
hypocrisy.
we pronounce it Hippocrates, and it's referred to as a hypocrite. The Hippocratic Oath.
No. I'm talking about being hypocritical.
Yeah, I know. It's the same person.
Oh,
It's from Hippocrates.
that I
I'm too
didn't.
tired for this shit.
I'm too tired for this shit. Gary's throwing down knowledge. I don't have time for that. Looking asshole.
It's almost midnight.
You know what she wants to do
Give
right
me-
now? She's gonna do it after the show. She's like, I wish I was there so we could just snuggle after I slap you 5 times for all the shit you did today.
Only 5 times? You're delusional. You
Yeah,
deserve
you're-
way more.
Well, you're pretty much a negative person, so it would be a negative number.
Fuck you. That's it.
God,
I need to go to bed.
not even for
So
real.
let me get to the private chat here so I can look at it. We got Tom Baker was here. It's good to see him. Emmanuel from France was here. Not Regis. Wade was here. War Monkey. In fact, Wade got the one breach joke. War Monkey. Sporking News Podcast. He had misspelled, but I knew who it was. Reed by nature. Reed was here. Penny. Slasher Fred. Lord Thoth. All hell, Lord Thoth. Parrot Head. Castler Daniel Garcia. Hey, man, I hope you're subscribed, man. We'd love to see you more in the chat. Nick Charles, which I love that fucking name. Meth. Connie Cleary. Joe's Atmosphere. And Ow, My Feelings. Good night,
Needs
Penny.
to be fixed because he doesn't like the movie.
Yeah, we need to work on him. I have such a great comeback for him the next time we hang out. It'll be great. So I liked him though. It was fun hanging out with him and Meth. I want to go back over there again sometime. I don't mind doing that hour before we do our show to hang out with them. They always pick good movies, and it's almost always something I know a lot about or love. So perfect. It's a perfect fit. So are there any other videos you wanted to play before we go, Martin?
Oh yes, but they all have music, so better not.
Yeah, the 15-second one might be bad. 18. Oh my God. 18
Oh,
seconds.
that's one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie.
What scene is it?
Oh, when he came.
Oh, I was afraid you weren't going to drop by.
Am I late?
That
was
scene.
funny.
You knew he had it in his hand. It
Yeah.
was a fucking great
yeah.
gag. And that's when he does the ketchup scene too.
Yeah. Oh,
But
Yeah, we had
the waiter,
terrible ketchup in prison, and she goes, "How long were you in?" Let's just say, I never saw E.T.
dude, the waiter goes off cursing. He's using real bad words in Italian.
Yeah,
Yes, he is.
this is a
I
great
mean,
one too.
That's in that kill! That's in that
Sorry. Oh my god, I love this.
My
movie so
favorite
much.
part is when she just keeps hitting him and he's like, "Stop helping me."
Yeah, that's there too.
Yeah, she hits his belt, then shoots him in the arm.
Yes.
And that's when he yells, "Stop helping me!" Do we have that one? Do we have the scene where he does the spewing out of his nose?
I think Steven fell asleep.
Yep.
He's
Steven
snoring.
is
Did you?
he's
Oh.
asleep.
Aw,
Tonight-
he did a key.
Keith will be played by Steven.
Yeah. We white-faced Keith.
Hi, Steven. This is Gary. I'm in your dreams. Take off your underwear.
Pow, chicky, pow, pow.
Bow, wow, bow,
Play that video. Go play it.
Oh, we don't have it here.
Oh no. Why not? That needs to be you.
There he is. He woke up. Hey, brother.
Not yet.
Good
Did
morning.
you hear what I said? Tonight, Keith is played by Steven. Do you remember how often he would fall asleep during your show? I'm like, shh, everybody let Keith sleep. And then I would mute him. Continue doing the show. Because he would get going, man. He actually, you could hear him go really loudly. Oh, anyway.
Those black guy snores, of course they're loud.
Well, it's because of that. I asked him to get tested
Yeah.
because I was really worried about him because he stops snoring. It's like he stops breathing.
Yeah.
And that's the concern. That's where it quits being snoring and becomes sleep apnea. So,
Did you
but
get
anyway, I want to thank everybody for being here today. I really enjoyed talking about this movie, and the entire conversation during the show was fun. I think you guys had a blast too. It was just, and I'm hoping you guys got a few laughs out of it because there's some funny shit, especially the mean shit I said to Anima. Because she knows I don't mean it. She knows I love her. I love her more than life itself. She's amazing.
He only dares to say that because I'm not next to him. And if I was next
Well,
to
I
him,
say a lot of the things
hold on.
because I want to irritate you.
If I was next to him, he would still say it, and then he would.
I would do it, but I would also turn and look at her
Yeah.
because I know
When
when
is
she's
it
going to
coming?
hit me.
When is it coming?
I am saying this just so you will hit me.
And I shall hit you.
Now,
until
you-
die.
You remember how she takes note. I bet she's keeping a tally of all the
The
hits.
list
That's
it's long.
The one thing I have going for me is she's got terrible memory. So she's got like goldfish memory.
Dude, not always.
Well, you do with fucking movies. You watch it, it's in one ear and out the
Sometimes.
other. Then like a
Sometimes.
couple months later, did we watch that movie? But then she go, wait, we watched that movie. And I'll go, did we? And then I'm like, no, I've never watched that with
Sometimes
you.
you
That was,
don't remember.
that was
yeah.
some other guy you liked.
No, sometimes you don't remember. It goes both ways. Fuck you.
oh, we have caveat
That
ties.
Rumble? Is that from Rumble?
No, it's from Stephen channel.
Oh, it's
Stephen's
Steven's channel. I see
Oh,
it. It's
something.
like, okay. So you're just in time for the end.
That'll teach you.
Happens.
Now you have to go back and watch from the beginning.
It's a thing. You know, it
Dude,
is what it is.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm watching
And the
this
ending,
movie
I
again.
forgot. I wanted to go back to this because at the end of Ford Fairlane, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane with, I just forgot his name, the comedian, Andrew Dice Clay. He has a similar ending with where the koala that got strangled on the fan, they hanged him on a fan by the throat, and it ends up being his revenge mantra because they killed the koala. At the end of the movie, they're on a cruise like a family, and then the camera keeps pulling back, and then you see the koala sitting there holding a drink, sipping, and he goes, "What? You thought we killed the fucking koala?" Oh. I love that. I love that kind of comedy where they throw some stupid shit at you at the end. And like I said, it's also at the end of Kiss Kiss Bang Bang in its own way, where they come walking through the hospital door. Like, oh yeah, all those characters, they didn't die. Yes, they did. But we're going to accept the fact that Gay Perry survived, which is just a great character.
I still don't know how I don't remember that movie. But I don't.
Oh, and I did mention Caveat Ties. Caveat Ties is here. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank Anima for having a good time. She had fun. I could tell she was having fun. Martin, I know you were having fun because you were laughing at the show. And of course, I knew Stephen wasn't having fun because he fell asleep. Apparently.
And that last couple of
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
At the end of the movie.
And by the way, the people watching from his channel, don't let him forget that.
Yeah. Always remember that.
Always remember that. So everybody have a really good Saturday today. Have a wonderful weekend. And I look forward to seeing some of you guys on Monday morning. What are we talking about on Monday, Martin?
The Train.
The Train, Burt Lancaster, classic film.
Looking forward to watching that.
And I'm trying to remember who plays the German officer in that. It's a big name, and I can't remember who the hell it is.
Let me. Okay.
Well, Matinee looks it up. If you subscribe to us or any other YouTube channel, remember to check your subscriptions because YouTube likes to unsubscribe people.
Oh, yeah. Paul Schofield, who I'm a huge fan of because we did Hamlet the other day, and I talked about freaking movies he's been in. Incredible actor. And you got Burt Lancaster. That's how he laughs. What I always love when I do the my nares, my nostrils go twitch up in and out. When I do the Burt Lancaster laugh, I love Burt Lancaster's laugh. And if I'm not correct, look that up. Was Patrick Stewart? Is that one of the early films with Patrick Stewart or no?
No, I don't see Patrick Stewart here.
Let me go look it up real quick because for some reason they got English actors to play Germans.
Well, yeah.
Not a good idea. Nope, not a good idea.
Hold on, I'm clicking on the entire cast.
Nope, this is not credited.
Yeah, no Patrick in the film. But there's a guy in that film, I swear to God, looks like Patrick Stewart in it. Yeah, he's not in it. No. When we watch it, look for that guy. It's a German that yells down the train. He's outside the train. He yells down the train. Swear to God, that German looks like Patrick Stewart. So there we go. All right, we're going to get the hell out of here, guys. Everybody have a good Saturday. We'll see you Monday for The Train with Burt Lancaster, a classic war film. One of the best war films from the 60s. It really was. That one with The Great Escape, and there's one more. Come on, Gary. I can't remember.
Ryan Express?
That's okay. It's okay. I'll remember it later. I'll look it up, actually. But those two films are amazing. We already did The Great Escape, and now we're going to do The Train, which I consider one of the three best war films made in the 60s. So anyway, everybody have a great Saturday. We're going to get the hell out of here. And Steven, I'm going to end your show now. This episode is brought to you by Deleted Scenes Sleeping Formula. Customers say, go man,
knock you out.
In my tent, I was only out for a minute. Alright, make it 2. I'm old, what are you gonna do? I worked all day.